So, what I want to speak about today is the topic of finding love. Now, when I talk about finding love, I don't really mean it in the sense of sort of a romantic partner or a significant other, that kind of love. I'm talking more about the love within yourself. Now, I know that it's a bit misleading what I mean when I say finding love, but I think that this is really important. I understand that there are a lot of people that sort of yearn for love from another person. I've been there, and I know sort of that feeling of yearning for love, but I think that also comes from a place of not loving yourself enough. Now, what I mean is, like, I feel like we neglect the love that we have for ourselves, and we start to search for that in other people. And that could be a girlfriend or a crush or anything like that. But our self-love is always neglected more. But I want to speak about the importance that I feel in finding self-love. Now, it's a difficult topic because there's no way for me to directly explain how to find a way to love yourself. Find a way to sort of enjoy yourself more, but I want to speak about how I see it as the importance I have behind it, because I believe that the love for yourself that you have for yourself, it should come before the love you have for anyone else. So going into a relationship or something like that, you gotta have that self-love. The relationship I have been in, I have made the mistake of sort of not thinking I love myself, but I don't, and sort of going into that. And I wouldn't call it a mistake. I think it's more of a learning curve, just because of how much I learned from sort of doing something like that. But unfortunately, you grow an attachment to that person's love, and you detach from the love that you're supposed to have for yourself. It just strays you away from that progress that you should be making on yourself. Why should I have to improve on myself? Why should I have to show myself love, make myself feel love when I have someone else to do that for me? And it's a trap that a lot of people fall in, and it's understandable as to why. I've myself have fallen into that trap where you neglect the love for yourself because it's being projected onto you by another person. But the mistake with that is that person is not guaranteed to stay, no matter how much you might think it. That person is not guaranteed to stay there and provide you with that love. So once they go, that fades. And then when it fades, you don't have that love inside of you. You only have what they were showing you, which fades. Now, finding love for yourself is, excuse me for the wind and the noise in the back. I apologize, it's quite windy right now. But finding love for yourself is like finding purpose almost. It's a cliche thing, but I really want you to think about the saying, which is to find the right person, you have to be the right person. And I'm not saying that you should just stop liking this girl, stop texting this girl. I'm not saying that you should stop pursuing someone because you feel like you don't love yourself. You just have to sort of add that into your agenda. If I'm chasing this girl or if I'm chasing this guy, it doesn't matter. If I'm chasing this person and I want to be with this person, I should be chasing with the feeling of wanting to be with myself. And I mean that in the sense of, if I want to love that person, if I want that person to love me, I have to be the first person to do that for myself. I have to love myself to love this other person to the best of my abilities, and to feel their love to the best of my abilities. Because the unfortunate reality is that if you do not love yourself enough, and if you don't love yourself in general, you're never going to feel the love of other people, and you're never going to be able to love other people to your full extent, because it's like it's like trying to go upstairs that's missing 2 stairs every time. You know, it's difficult. You have to take such big steps. You have to climb over, but you want to fill in those gaps with the love that you have for yourself, and that's how you're able to project it the best, and it projects onto your everyday life. I mean, if you love yourself, if you're happy, if you're kind to yourself, you're going to be kind to others. If you respect yourself, you're going to respect others. If you understand yourself, you're going to understand others. I think finding love for yourself. Sorry, I keep on saying finding love for yourself. There's no easy step to it, but it's not an easy thing. That is just a reality. That it's just the reality is that it's not an easy thing, but it's something that it doesn't have to take a toll on you. It doesn't have to be hard in the sense that it takes a toll on you and it's difficult and you have to go through so much pain. I'm saying it's difficult in the sense that it might take a long time. Now, finding love for yourself, I think, comes from being alone and accepting yourself. I know that a lot of us struggle to accept certain things about us, but you have to sort of grow to accept that, and you have to understand yourself. And being alone, for me, is such a key part of excuse me for the noise, of loving yourself. Like, let's say you're in a group of friends, right? Break off sometimes. Go alone. Go on a walk. Go sit in a field. Go sit at the beach and watch the sunset. Put music in. Don't put music in. But just sit alone and think. And being with yourself and being alone with your thoughts is the best way to understand yourself, because there's no interruptions. When you're speaking to someone or you're in a conversation, you might be learning things about yourself, but you're not really processing your thoughts as much because there are interruptions. So being alone for me is so important in terms of understanding yourself and being comfortable with yourself. And that's sort of something that I did that really helped me when it comes to loving myself and being comfortable with being alone and being me. You know, you could also find interests that help you discover yourself more. If you're good at, I don't know, playing an instrument or doing magic tricks, things like that can really help you feel comfortable with yourself, because you might find peace in something. It's also, I'm quite sick right now, so excuse the sniffing. I know it's quite disgusting. But, you know, going back onto it, I think that a good way to see it is treat yourself like a romantic partner. I mean, in relationships, we neglect ourselves more, but when you look at it, when you're in a relationship, what you want to do to improve it and to love each other better, you want to grow for them, change for them, you know, you want to satisfy them, you want to attend to their needs, you know, be kind of grow as a person. Let's say you might go to gym to seem more attractive to your partner. You might get a new haircut. You might become a kinder person. You might start making money, spending on them, you know, to satisfy them, which is a completely normal thing. But do it for yourself. That's a good way to see it. Is pretend you're in a relationship with yourself, and you have to love yourself better. So grow for yourself. To love is to grow, you know. And why can't you do that for you if you're so willing to do it for someone else? Grow for yourself, you know, satisfy yourself. I know that sounds weird, but you know, I don't mean it that way. Attend to your own needs, you know, do the things that you would do for another romantic partner. Do that for yourself. And, you know, it's going to sort of boost your love life in a way. Because when you sort of unlock the self-love for yourself, then love from other people is just added on in a good way. And I don't mean that once you love yourself, you've unlocked full potential and you don't need anyone else to love you, you know. But it just means that you won't yearn for it, because it shouldn't be a need of yours. A need of yours should be to love yourself. And once you are able to do that, then you don't sort of require the feeling of love from another person. You already have that from you. Now, when you're in a relationship now with this new profound self-love, their love is just added on. It just reinforces, but it doesn't break the love that you have for yourself, because that's the most powerful thing. It might sound like deep and all that, but you are born alone and you will die alone. Most of your life, you're in your own head, you're speaking to yourself, you're thinking, why not become best friends with this person? Why not love the person that you are, the person that you spend the most time with? It's like, you should love your mother, right? You should love your father. You spend a lot of time with them, or your siblings, or your friends. But that person could be you also. You spend a lot of time with yourself, so you should sort of grow that love for yourself. And I feel like love for ourselves is so neglected. It's seen as something that you don't really need. When you feel the need for love, the first thing you think of is, I need a girlfriend, I need a boyfriend, I need a significant other, I need people to cherish me, to validate me, to hold me, to cuddle me. But it really does, at the end of the day, fall into the need to love yourself. Because that is something that when you achieve, like I said before, you don't yearn it anymore, you become satisfied. And that's super important. That really sort of unlocks a whole new way for you to see life, because loving yourself, you understand yourself more. And you will only ever be able to understand someone as deeply as you understand yourself. So if I love myself and I understand myself very deeply, then I'm able to understand the people around me deeply. And if you really yearn for a partner and all of that, understanding them is a huge thing. It's crucial. You both need to be able to understand each other, but you're never going to be able to understand them as much as you understand yourself. And that comes with self-love. That comes with spending time with yourself, doing things for yourself. Having gratitude for the things that are around you will make you understand yourself more, and that projects onto everything in life. Once you're kinder to yourself, then you will be kinder to others. It'll project. People will be kinder to you. Once you're more grateful for yourself, you'll be grateful for everything else, and people will be grateful for you. It really does sort of, however you treat yourself internally, it projects out to the rest of the world. Someone who hates themselves, who's always talking negatively about themselves, that is projected out. If they're negative inside, negativity is projected from that person. So that's, self-love is projected out. It can be seen as confidence and that. And loving yourself doesn't mean that and loving yourself with confidence doesn't mean that you have to be talkative to everyone. You can still be an introvert and love yourself. It doesn't have to be to show to everyone. It doesn't have to be this huge thing that you show off. It becomes a show to yourself. And that's when you've sort of unlocked that self-love that you should have, is when you don't need to project it out on everyone else, but it is naturally projected from you, because that's what is within, and what is within, like I said, will always be projected. That's pretty much all I have to sort of talk about in terms of self-love. It's quite a difficult topic, and I know like a lot of people struggle with it. I struggled with it for a long time in my life, especially when you get bullied and all of that, and you get neglected for certain things about yourself. I understand that it becomes something difficult to do, and a lot of us have imperfections, but I think even if to you are the most terrible person in the world, there is always love within yourself that should be released, that you can unlock. Everyone has love for themselves, you just need to unlock it. It's not impossible. It may seem impossible. You may hate the way you look, hate the way you act around people, but those are things that can change, and not in the sense that change physically, in the sense that it will change as you start to love yourself and appreciate those things more. It's, like I said, obviously, it's a difficult thing, and it does seem impossible, but I think it is very, very possible. And it's really a way to unlock something new. It's really a way to change how you view life. And I think that it's something that you should be looking for rather than looking to satisfy your internal void with love from other people. And it's much easier to have a girlfriend love you than to have you love you. It is harder, but you know what is easy won't last, and what isn't easy will last. And that's why it's harder to love yourself, because it's something that's meant to last. And the process might take a year, 10 years, it might take a day, a week, but it's not really that you should be thinking of. It's sort of just the progress that you're making that matters. I hope that you could relate to this in any kind of way, or I was able to say words that have some kind of meaning to you. Yeah, that's just kind of my opinion on it. If you stayed to the end, thank you very much for watching, and if not, thank you very much anyways. Yeah, that's pretty much it.